Welcome to Revelation Unraveled. I'm your host, William Tapley, also known as the third eagle of the apocalypse and the co-prophet of the end times. Earlier this week, that is on June 18th, there was a very important summit meeting between two figures found in Bible prophecy. And that would be the last king of the north, as found in Daniel chapter number 11. And that would be the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, and the last king of the south. And that would be the president of the United States, Barack Obama. Now, there were several very interesting coincidences about these summit talks. And if there's one thing I have discovered about prophecy, there is no such thing as coincidences. First of all, these meetings were held on the 42nd anniversary of the prophecies at Bayside, New York, which the Blessed Mother gave to Veronica Lucan. One of the most important of these prophecies is that Syria holds the key to world peace. It will be a great destruction of World War III, in which 3/4 of the world will be destroyed. I believe people are beginning to realize that Syria does hold the key to world peace. It certainly appears as if Russia is drawing a line in the sand. They did not strenuously object when Obama removed Mubarak and when he removed Gaddafi. But they are objecting to the removal of Bashar Assad, the dictator of Syria. I believe Obama will be in deep doo-doo if he tries to remove Assad. Another amazing coincidence about this meeting in Los Cabos, Mexico, is the meaning of the word Los Cabos in Spanish. One of the meanings is the ends. I don't believe that is a coincidence. Now I will play for you a few of the clips from this press conference. And you will see that neither Putin nor Obama really say anything of importance. They speak strictly in generalities. You would think that Russia and America were the best of allies. You wouldn't understand, unless you read Bible prophecy, that World War III is between these two superpowers. First, let's hear Putin talk about Russia's entrance into the World Trade Organization.
Today we had a very meaningful and subject-oriented discussion. We've been able to discuss issues pertaining to security. We discussed bilateral economic relations. In this regard, I would like to thank you for the support rendered to Russia with her accession to the World Trade Organization.
First of all, please don't blame me for the terrible quality on the video and sound on these clips. They are in the public domain and they are found at the White House channel on YouTube. You would think that the world's superpowers would do a better job at videotaping their own press conference. Now, in this next clip, Vladimir Putin talks about the Syrian affair, as he calls it, and he said that he and Obama found quite a few commonalities.
We have also discussed international affairs, including the Syrian affair. From my perspective, we've been able to find many commonalities pertaining to all of those issues.
Please notice that Putin does not refer to the thousands of troops he is sending into the Syrian area, nor about the helicopters or the ships which he is sending. Everything is lovey-dovey, according to this news conference. Next, Putin invites Obama back to Russia.
You visited the Russian Federation 3 years ago. Now, welcome again. I invite you to visit Moscow.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. We, in fact, did have a candid, thoughtful, and thorough conversation on a whole range of bilateral and international issues.
As you can see, Putin and Obama emphasized friendship and cooperation. Wouldn't I really love to know what they discussed behind closed doors? Now next, Obama talks about the missiles he is planning to place near Russia.
We discussed a range of strategic issues, including missile defense, and resolved to continue to work through some of the difficult problems involved there.
In this next clip, Obama thanks Putin and the Russian people for keeping open supply lines to our troops in Afghanistan. Incidentally, didn't Obama promise to pull our troops out of Afghanistan after we got Osama bin Laden?
I thanked the President and the Russian people for the work they've done with us on the Northern Distribution Network that is vital to providing supplies and resources to our brave troops who are still in Afghanistan.
Of course, we'll never know if Putin drew the line in the sand as far as Syria goes, or just how far the United States is willing to go. Instead, in this next clip, President Obama talks about increasing trade with Russia.
In particular, we discussed the need to expand trade and commercial ties between the United States and Russia, which are still far below where they should be.
Well, so far I have not heard either Putin or Obama say anything of substance. Now in this next clip, Obama says that there is still time, that is space and time, as he says, to resolve the Iranian crisis.
We emphasize our shared approach when it comes to the Iranian situation. As members of P5+1, we agree that there's still time and space to resolve diplomatically the issue of Iran's potential development of nuclear weapons, as well as its interest in developing peaceful nuclear power.
So President Obama continues to talk about problems, but never solutions. They talk about what he and Putin discussed, but never their accomplishments. Were there any agreements between these two leaders of the free world? Now this next clip is very important because Barack Obama talks about the current hotspot, where the Blessed Mother said could be the start of World War III, where 3/4 of mankind will be killed. Here is where Obama talks about Syria.
And finally, as the President mentioned, we discussed Syria, where we agreed that we need to see a cessation of the violence, that a political process has to be created to prevent civil war and the kind of horrific deaths that we've seen over the last several weeks. And we pledged to work with other international actors, including the United Nations, Kofi Annan, and all interested parties in trying to find a resolution to this problem.
Now for the bad news. As you can see, this news conference was pretty much of a charade. In this next clip, we will see Obama shake Putin's hand. And after that, I am going to show you what Bible prophecy says about these two men.
Mr. President, I look forward to visiting Russia again, and I look forward to hosting you in the United States.
Господин президент, я надеюсь, что в будущем сумею посетить Россию и хотел бы также увидеть вас.
Vladimir Putin and Barack Obama are both loyal sons of the Antichrist. These regime changes in the Middle East are designed to put in anti-Christian leaders and take out people like Mubarak, Gaddafi, and Assad who tolerate Christianity. Both Putin and Obama would like to see the Muslim Brotherhood take over the Middle East. However, Putin is going to draw a line in the sand in Syria. He wants to control the future of that country. Personally, I don't believe either one of these leaders trust each other. I think they would stab each other in the back. And that is what the prophet Daniel says. Daniel 11 verse 40. And at the time of the end, notice this is an end times prophecy, shall the king of the south, that is Barack Obama, push at him, that means provoke, and the king of the north, that is Vladimir Putin, shall come against him like a whirlwind, with chariots and with horsemen and with many ships, and he shall enter into the countries. The countries here refer to Britain and America, and shall overflow and pass through. Now this provoking by the king of the south, that is Obama, started back in the fall of 2010 when he sent an aircraft carrier group near North Korea, and North Korea responded with the first salvo of World War III on November 23rd of 2010. So in conclusion, I believe it was the mission of Putin and Obama at this press conference in Los Cabos, Mexico, to obfuscate the issue of Syria rather than to enlighten us. They wanted to reassure us, and at the same time they are drawing a line in the sand. And I believe President Obama will cross that line. I believe Daniel is a far more accurate source of information than any news conference these world leaders try to perpetrate on the rest of us. And for you in my audience, please don't suppose that this war in the Middle East is a fulfillment of Ezekiel 37 and 38. This war in the Middle East is a conclusion of the goat versus the ram war and the Babylon versus the beast war in Revelation. And in this war, the last king of the north will defeat the last king of the south. And as always, I offer a free copy of my book, Revelation Unraveled. You can either write to the address you see on your screen, or post a comment below this video and I will get back to you.